Hey everyone, my name's Shnickerman. I'm a content creator that likes to focus on retro video games as well as hidden gems related to different systems. So I'm actually a pretty big fan of the Xbox Kinect. I made some videos in the past picking up random Kinect games, and I think the system is super underrated and the games are extremely cheap. I wanted to pick 3 games that are standouts on the system, and some of them you may have not even heard of before. I'll show footage so that way you can see for yourselves and be the judge if you want to pick this game up or not. So let's do it. Xbox Kinect. First game I want to talk about is Rise of Nightmares. So Rise of Nightmares is basically a survival horror game, but I'll say it's not obviously a traditional survival horror game since it is a Kinect game. I would say it's kind of a cross between an on-rail shooter and something like Until Dawn, where it's a horror game where you just kind of walk around and there's a lot of different jump scares, things like that. But in this game, you control your character using the Kinect. Some things are worse than you would expect, and some things are better than you would expect. If you move left or right, your character will look around in 3D space. And then to make your character start walking, you have to put your right leg in front of your left leg, and that starts your character moving forward. But the developers thought that this might be kind of annoying, so what they did is if you put your arm up in this specific motion like this, your character will auto walk. And what's good about this is it actually allows your character to proceed where you're supposed to go in the game. So it prevents you ever being lost in the game. Some people may think this is a little bit too easy, but I think for this type of game, it's actually really, really necessary. So I don't want to spoil too much about the actual story of this game, but you're a bunch of different characters. You need to pick up weapons and start killing these random zombie things. There's also some interesting parts as well where it uses the Kinect, where you might get thrown into some water and you have to swim away from a monster, so you have to just start swimming like this in order to proceed your character. Some of these are really cool, and then some of them are a little bit frustrating because they don't explain what to do. There's one part I was going through where it just said run, and my character would just constantly die. So what you have to actually do is just run in place. But not only do you have to run in place, you have to run in place extremely quick in order to do it successfully. But it is kind of fun. And another interesting thing about this game is that there are collectibles. Similar to a game like BioShock, there's like audio logs, so you can pick up little cassettes and listen to what the other characters have to say that might have been left behind or got killed or something like that. I don't really see very many people talking about this game, and I can see why I got the flack that it did at the time when it came out, but I think that for less than $10, this game is definitely worth a pickup if you have a Kinect and you want to give it a shot, and I think fans of horror might enjoy this as well. Again, it's not a perfect game, but it's definitely worth looking into if you're into survival horror games. This is honestly my choice out of the 3 games as well. This game is Disney Fantasia Music Evolved. From the title of the game, you would think, okay, what is this game? It's a Disney game. It uses Disney Fantasia's license, but this is a rhythm game. So this was made in collaboration of Harmonix and Disney. If the name Harmonix seems familiar to you, it's because Harmonix was also responsible for the earlier Guitar Hero games as well as Rock Band. So they definitely have some rhythm game chops. The best way I can describe this game is you're almost like a conductor. So you'll play through different songs and you make specific motions, whether it's a motion left and right, a motion that punches center, a motion that swipes and holds in a specific direction. And you really do start feeling like you're part of this music. But it doesn't just stop there. One of the main mechanics of this game is that every song has 3 different versions. It will have the radio normal version of the song, and it will have 2 different remix versions. But even the word remix isn't exactly what it is. For some songs, it's an orchestrated version of the song, whereas in the normal songs, let's say you have electric guitar and drums. In this version, you might have violin and percussion. And for some of the more electronica songs, they're just straight up remixes by famous DJs and things like that. But the cool thing about it is at certain points in the song, you can switch specific instruments to different styles. And if you want to keep the lyrics in the main style and then change all the instruments to another style, you can do that. You can mix and match. The game also highlights different DJ techniques such as chopping, and it really showcases what DJs do, and it allows you to do this to various songs, which I think is really cool. And it also helps that this game has a lot of good licensed music. I wish I could play it here for you in the video, but we all know that I can't do that. We have David Bowie, Depeche Mode, Missy Elliott, Flaming Lips, Gorillaz, Jimi Hendrix, Police, The Who, as well as many classical songs. And this game actually helped me get a lot more into classical music, because like I said, you do really feel like a conductor directing your orchestra. As far as replayability, this is a rhythm game, so you're going to want to try to get maximum combos and things like that, and every song has 3 different remixes once you proceed through the story that you can play songs differently every time if you want. The story itself is a little weird, and the motion controls to get through the menus can be kind of tedious, but overall the story is just having you play through the songs and unlock the different remix versions, and you'll just get trophies as you go along through that. So nothing super special on the story end, but I will say it's a pretty good rhythm game, and I really don't see anybody ever talking about this game. And again, I think it's $5 or less to pick up this game. So if it sounds interesting to you, be sure to check it out. The final game I'm going to talk about is the Gunstringer. This is the one game that I have seen some people talk about. Gunstringer was developed by Twisted Pixel. They make really good games. They have a good sense of humor about them. This game I don't even really know how to explain, but it's really, really interesting. This one is also kind of like an on-rail shooter. A lot of the Kinect games tend to be like this. But essentially with your left hand, you control the Gunstringer, the puppet. You can move him left to right. You can have him jump up. And with your right hand, you're controlling his revolver. So you can choose where he's shooting and you do a motion to have him shoot the different objects. And it's kind of like an arcade game where you're trying to get combos by shooting a bunch of things in a row without getting hit. The other thing about this game is there's also different modes as well, where sometimes you'll be in like a 2D platformer mode where you're just having the Gunstringer jump over various things. It opened up one part where you control both of his hands with 2 revolvers. You basically need to shoot all of these crows that are coming at you before they can kill you. So I don't want to say too much about this game, but it's a really cute game. And it's definitely different. I can see why people say that it's the standout game on the system, but I do feel like all these 3 games are a must pick up if you have an Xbox Kinect. So that's basically it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm planning on doing more videos about the Xbox Kinect. I don't think anyone really talks about it. There are definitely some good games on here and games that you can play and get a lot of fun out of. It doesn't matter if they're 10 out of 10 games. The next video is going to focus on the Fable game, Dragon Ball Z, and the Marvel Avengers game. So stay tuned for that. And if you like this kind of content, if you like to learn about different uncommon video games, especially in the Xbox 360, PS3 generation, as well as modern and retro stuff, be sure to subscribe to this channel. And if you want to share this around to your friends, do so. It really helps the channel. I really appreciate it. If you have any Xbox Kinect games that you think are really cool, leave it in the comments. And until the next video, guys, peace out.